Hello and welcome back to another video. Another month over means another video for you to see, and I think this might be the shortest one out of this whole series since I haven't actually taken that many photos this month. I've had a pretty rough month, so I haven't had much time to go out and take photos, and I haven't really wanted to, but I'm hoping to change that soon and get out as soon as possible. But I at least have some photos for you to see, and most of them were from when me and Jen went to go visit her family up in Warrington. So I just get started, and the first photos that I took in November were from the day after that we arrived in Warrington. The first day we arrived, we actually went to a gig in the Jacaranda in Liverpool, and unfortunately I didn't take any photos there. The band that we saw was Gustaffson, and it's actually the band that Jen's dad is in, and the gig was really good. If you want to check them out, I'll put their YouTube and Spotify up here, and if I can, without getting like insanely copyright claimed, I will put some clips up of their music videos here. Anyway, the day after we arrived, me and Jen were invited by her mum and stepdad to go watch a firework display. So me and Jen wrapped up warm in our coats and headed out to go see her family. I brought along my Fujifilm XT4 as it's an easy carry and it has decent low light performance. The firework display was good and I ended up getting some nice photos. We also had hot chocolate and a donut, and I ended up really badly burning my tongue on the hot chocolate. I've never had a burn like that before, it was horrible. We also had Chinese food later on that day, as Jen keeps raving on about this takeaway, and I've never really had Chinese food before, so I was pretty excited. And it was amazing. It was some of the best food that I've had in a while, but it was also not very good because I had the burnt tongue from the hot chocolate and the spice was getting to be more than it ever has done before. A couple days after that, me and Jen ended up going to Wales. We both love Wales and it's a really nice change of scenery compared to here down in Cornwall. While we were getting ready in the morning, we ended up getting some cuddles from Dappy. She is Jen's grandparents' dog and she is absolutely crazy but also really adorable. We then hit the road to North Wales, and when we was about 5 minutes from our destination, the engine light ended up coming on in the car and just not going away. So we pulled over and I got a couple of photos where we were. Since the engine light wouldn't go off, we ended up heading back to Warrington and we stopped off to get some fuel, but when we fueled up the car, somehow the engine light just turned off. And now that the engine light was off, we had a bit more peace of mind, so we pulled over and went for a walk to get some photos so we didn't have a wasted trip to Wales. Once we got those photos, we ended up heading back to Warrington and we didn't see the engine light come on again. A couple days after that, we ended up going out for a walk and I got some more photos there. And this might sound stupid to a lot of people, but I was just amazed at how orange the leaves were. For some reason, down here in Cornwall, the leaves don't change that much colour in autumn. They usually just stay green or go very slightly yellow but mostly green, or they just turn brown and fall off the trees. But you will rarely see them turn like really yellow or even orange. Anyway, here are the photos from the walk. I think they're alright and I think the colours are really nice. The colour science of the XT4 is just perfect and it's especially good in autumn. For these images I used the Astia soft film simulation and I ended up just doing a bit of editing afterwards. I may make a video about how I edit my photos because I have been requested to do that before and I think it'd just be, quite a nice video to do. Before me and Jen left Warrington to come back to Cornwall, I ended up getting a photo of her family as her brother is back for the first time in a very long time from working on a cruise. So it's very rare that you see them all together in one place, so they asked me to take a photo and I done just that. I got these two photos and I think they've turned out really nice. But after that, me and Jen came home, and a few days later, I ended up getting some photos on my GFX. Although the light was quite nice, I ended up converting them to black and white just because I think it looks a little bit better. But these are the last photos that I took in November, and they were only on the 12th. I spent the rest of the month in a bit of a rut with some personal issues and just not really feeling up to taking photos. But I'm really hoping to get back to regularly taking photos and making videos as soon as possible. I'll speak a little bit more about this in my next video as it's very on theme with what the video is going to be about. But also, just before I go, I want to say that the engine light did come back on when we were driving back to Cornwall, and we ended up breaking down in Exeter. And it turns out the car was overheating like crazy, even though the temperature gauge wasn't changing, so we thought the car was fine, but when we stopped off to get fuel, it just started steaming and smoking everywhere. We were like, oh god. So we got out of the petrol station as quickly as possible and just sat in the car park for a bit. We had to wait there 8 hours for my brother to be free and come and get us because he's a mechanic and he was going to see if there's anything that he can do just to get us back home. But it turns out the coolant pipe that lets the coolant run from the reservoir to wherever else it goes, I'm not a car person so I have no idea, that pipe was just so rusted and corroded that it was just leaking coolant all the time. So after after my brother tried to fix it with, any bits of DIY and, just random parts that he could, nothing could be done, and basically each time he touched it, it just corroded and fell apart more. So we ended up getting a lift back with him after about 10 hours, I'd say, of just sitting there doing nothing. So yeah, we were very, very tired that day. But not long after that, we ended up getting the car towed back down. My brother came over and he ended up fixing the car with a new part, so that's very nice. But that's the end of that very stressful car saga, so yeah. Anyway, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.